Randomly with Ronnie Jr. Featuring entertainment reporter Eileen Reslen, hot topics, and more.
All right, we got entertainment reporter Eileen Reslen on the phone with me. Now let's talk about the American Music Awards. Did you get a chance to check them out?
Yes. I got to watch it from the comfort of my home.
Oh, very good. I was doing the same thing with a lot of wine.
Yes. I missed out on the wine this time, but it was still a great show regardless.
Did you like the opening as far as the two hosts? Did you think Jay Farrell worked really well with Gigi Hadid, or did you think the pairing was kind of weird?
Oh, man, this pains me to say it. I had such high hopes for Gigi because I am such a big Gigi fan, but I was checking out Twitter, and I'm kind of going along with everybody else's sentiments on this. I don't think she did as great of a job. Maybe she was nervous. I'll give her that. I think that she got better as the show went on. But I think in the opening, I felt like there lacked a little bit of fluidity, and like she was just like a little awkward tension or nervousness there. She did do well on the Melania impression. I'll give her that. I think that she pulls that off pretty well.
Right.
But I don't know. It just didn't seem as like a natural hosting job for her.
And they both seem like they would do good with somebody else. Like Gigi seems like she's held her own more than I would have expected. I remember watching her on Lip Sync Battle, and I was like, oh, she's kind of cool. So I had high hopes as well. But then even Jay Farrell, he's great at the impressions and all that, but the mix wasn't there. All I kept thinking the whole show was, I really want to predict for 2017 they do like Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. For some weird reason, by watching those two, I wanted, why isn't Kelly Ripa hosting this? I don't know.
Well, Kelly, see, that's the thing. Kelly is a host. She does this every day for a living. So, I do wonder, why don't they just go with someone who, is an expert at this, who knows how to command a room like that? But, she looks stunning, of course. She is a supermodel.
Oh, Gigi Hadid, yeah. I didn't realize... I didn't realize she was. I'm sorry. I didn't realize she was the girl that was in Miguel's music video a couple years ago. What is the song called? It was the black and white video. That was her before she kind of popped off.
That.
Yeah.
Calvin Harris's lately.
Yeah, she was in that Simple Things.
Squad.
Yeah. No, you know more about her than I do. That's pretty cool. What do you think of the show?
Like I said, I'm a fan, so I don't want to knock her. I want to be always Team Gigi, and she looks gorgeous. She's like super well spoken as well. So, but you need to just like have a certain type of like upbeat personality, I think, to command a show like this. And I don't know if she kind of did it for me, but she looks stunning, and I think she got the job done at the end of the day. The toughest part is the opening, I feel like, for the host,
right.
They got to like suck you in the beginning, and then at the end, they just kind of do the tosses and things like that, and she did well with that. But,
she hugged Zayn, did you see that? She hugged Zayn.
Oh, that was such a cute moment, when the camera pans back after he won his award. And I was actually watching the E! News red carpet as well, and she had said that she voted for him. So they seem to be in a really good place.
I was a little surprised.
What's their couple's name? They've got a...
Gizaine? I don't know. I think I made that up, didn't I?
Yeah.
What did you think about him winning the award? I was a little surprised he beat Shawn Mendes in like an Alessia Cara type.
Yeah, Gigi was hosting. But it is fan voted, the AMA. So, don't get me wrong. His song, Pillow Talk. That sounds huge. Like, let's not forget. The thing is that it kind of like the wave on that already kind of passed. It was more big like over the summer and things like that. But his song was so big. So
yeah, I guess that there's popularity behind it. You're right. Yeah. Did you have any
right now, Shawn Mendes' Treat You Better is the one that's, kind of fresh in our mind. I think maybe that's why you feel that way.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about Pillow Talk.
No, you're right. But see, I like Shawn Mendes. He won major points with me because obviously the highlights of the night were like, Princess Purple Rain getting honored, Sting and his award. But like for newcomers and people who really just like stapled, their presence in this industry, I love what Shawn Mendes did. The song was called Mercy, and I like wanted to hear it 100 times. So that was a real big standout point for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think he's so talented, and it's interesting. I had a feeling that I think we're going to see kind of like now his music evolve a little bit, because I believe he just turned 18. He just celebrated like his 18th birthday.
Oh, he's that young.
I'm
Wow.
excited. You know when Justin Bieber kind of went through that, where he like went from like the Baby album to like now his more grown up music, and I'm like curious to see what Shawn Mendes does. But there's no doubt that he's super talented. But speaking about like standout moments, for me, you mentioned Prince. I actually got choked up, like literally. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take much for me, to be honest, to kind of get a little teary-eyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really got choked up by his sister's speech. Like, you know, you can tell that it's just still so fresh for them, and he's just was such an icon. So
I
that moment.
I really love that AMAs did that. And yeah, I felt choked up as well because I was doing the live tweeting. So we were doing a lot of live tweeting early on. And so by the time it got to that part of the show, I was kind of like, you know, also multitasking, getting ready for the next day of work and on the phone with some people, you know, just kind of busy. But then once that moment hit, I had to like sit, stop, and just fully plug in, and just to see his sister cry. And, you know, obviously there was always the big old scandal with like who's going to get the property, and it was a very pure moment. And I mean, who doesn't love Purple Rain? So I'm glad they did that. Sting of course also got honored, but one of the performers that really got me was, I think Lady Gaga is I'm so about her right now. I'm just really about her these days. It's crazy.
She is, yeah. Well, I mean, Lady Gaga, she's an icon. She's, you know, I think she cemented herself as that a while ago. So it's exciting to see her again, kind of like on the pop front of things.
Can I ask you though, because you talked about the red carpet, so I know you pay attention to that stuff, and I know.
Oh, you know, I love my fashion.
Okay, well then I got to ask you, because I know that Kiki Wyatt or whatever, is that her name? Kiki Palmer. I'm sorry.
Kiki Palmer. Yeah.
She was coming through with it. So who else did you really love fashion wise?
Kiki Palmer, I know. The 90s are hot right now. They're kind of like, you know, revamping the 90s, and she definitely pulled that off. I liked her look a lot. My best dress by far was Selena Gomez, the woman of the night.
She was the woman of the night, yeah.
Yeah, she looked stunning. Just so classy and just very beautiful. So I love the red on her and her simple makeup and her hair pulled back. Like, she's just so beautiful. Always, it's kind of effortless for her to look that good. But yeah, that dress was like beautiful on her. So I was definitely a fan of that.
Any of the gentlemen? Did Jay Farrow, what he was wearing? Did any gentleman dress? Did like Bruno Mars get you or anyone?
Yeah, well, actually, Neil Horan I don't even know if I'm saying his name properly.
Oh, who was that?
From One Direction.
Oh, right. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I forget the name of his designer, but he made a good point when he was talking to Jason Kennedy from E! How he decided to go with kind of like, it had a little bit of pattern, his suit. And I think that's always fun to see kind of the men. You know, I feel bad for you guys in a way that you kind of don't have as much like excitement as the ladies do with our fashion. You know, it's kind of like the suit staple. So I see when they take a little bit of a risk and actually pull it off. I'm always a fan of that. So yeah, he had kind of like I think it was like with a plaid type of pattern, but very like understated, but still very, very chic.
Yeah. I wonder how low key, if he was really happy, or is he not happy for like the success of Zayn? Because they're all trying to do their own thing, and like Zayn's the one who gets, I guess, all the popularity.
You know, after Zayn won, I saw that people were commenting on his acceptance speech, saying that there was a little bit of shade thrown in there. I don't know if that's just people, you know, kind of stirring the pot or looking too much into things, but you know how when he accepted his award, he goes, "Oh, look, this one has just my name on it," or whatever, you know, but
I felt that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, I do because, okay, you here, and we always talk about this. If you struggle with emotions and, you know, self-doubt and insecurities, and obviously he had to pull himself away from social media and those kinds of things, and depression, why is the first thing you do is antagonize other people? Like, to me, that you can't be both. You know, we can't feel sorry for you when the first thing you do is talk a little mess. Like, that just doesn't work for me. I'm really rude in that way, and I'll call you out on it. So I just wasn't really. I just, to me, it was a little odd. I was like,
how you really feel, Ronnie.
No, but do you at least get what I'm saying? Like, we literally as people had to like hear the stories, and, you know, poor Zayn, and he's having anxiety. I take that very seriously. So if you're going to have anxiety, cool, go up there and be a little more humble. But you making that little One Direction joke like you're popping or something, dog, you're not popping all the way, because you clearly are going through things. It just didn't sit well with me. Maybe I'm being too critical. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. That's what this platform is for, right?
Exactly.
I think that I'm a little bit too, like, I kind of tend to kind of like give people benefit of the doubt, maybe a little bit too much. And like, I kind of like, unless the comment was blatantly obvious that it was like a dig, then I would totally be like, that wasn't cool, and I'd be on the same page with you. But I don't think that little remark was honestly that harsh towards
I get it, yeah.
direction. I think that it was maybe he was kind of like, I definitely don't have a filter sometimes, so I can kind of understand how maybe his just like gut instinct reaction was like, oh wow, my first award, just me. Like it kind of like hit him. Like I'm gonna just this time we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how he is in interviews and like in press and stuff.
You could talk me into
I'll give
it.
him the benefit of the doubt this time and just say that it was just kind of like his gut instinct reaction. He didn't mean to shade anybody.
Right. Well, Drake did something along those lines too. I mean, on a good note, he talked about being on Degrassi with Nina Dobrev. I do remember watching
really
that.
Cute.
Yeah, it was super cute. But then in that same speech, I think he said, like, "Oh, don't try to do this to me," blah blah blah. And I was wondering, like, instantly,
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah, was it a joke about the pay some respect on my name, or what was it? Who was it for? It was just kind of, I don't know. People were doing that yesterday, I guess.
It was definitely directed at someone. I don't think he was just quoting Birdman.
Yeah.
there.
Right.
From that
The interview. Yep.
He's referencing, if you guys haven't heard, The Breakfast Club, that interview, that 5-second interview that took place. That was very Birdman showed up there with Charlemagne the God and everyone else, and DJ Envy and Angelique. But I think that he was definitely talking. It could have been maybe the Meek. They've got some beef.
Oh yeah. I know. He got Joe Budden was very commentary towards him for all these for the Views album. So it could have been him. I don't know. It's also silly, but it's, I guess, fun to watch. I guess because we're in the comfort of our own home, so we don't have to deal with it as bad, I guess.
Right. I feel like rappers though, like they always, it's part of like that culture, unfortunately. But like part of like the rap culture a little bit has to do with like beef, like like in ciphers and things like that, and battles and rap battles. It's like people come at one another. So I mean, he's just playing along with kind of like, I guess, the beef of the moment, I guess, that he's got going on.
Well, now
for me, I'm personally just like, people don't really care to see that. I mean, it will get you headlines the next day. It might. Some blogs will pick it up and be like, oh, who was he talking about? Like, where's this gonna go?
And they're all young, and they have to live in the moment.
Like, put it into song, hey.
Right. Well, what about, so Future, of course, has had his beef with people over occasions, but obviously no beef was as big as him and his baby's mother, Sierra. And so to see Sierra and always stunning, and with Russell Wilson, and now they're expecting their first child together. So it would be her second and their first together. I don't know. I'm always rooting for Sierra. Like, I feel like she goes through quite a bit. I don't know if she puts it on herself, but she goes through quite a bit. So it was a very proud moment to see her with that.
Yeah, she's such a class actress, and she always just looks so like put together. And I mean, of course, she's stunning. I know she broke onto the scene as a singer, but I'm not shocked that she's now like the global brand ambassador for like Revlon, because that woman is just so beautiful. But yeah, no, she seems to be in a good place in her life, and newly married, and like you said, expecting her first child with Russell Wilson, and they seem to just have like a really healthy, great relationship. So good for her. You know?
They're couples goals, I guess. What about the biggest thing of the night? I mean, unless there's something else you could think of, the Selena Gomez thing. What was your impression about all of it, from head to toe, the way she dressed to just all of it?
Well, there's one word that definitely comes to mind. Well, two. Gorgeous, obviously, but brave, is what I immediately think of when I see her. I mean, this young woman, she is, I believe, only like 23, 24 years old, and for her to get on stage and just be so vulnerable in front of like thousands of viewers on television and her peers in the industry, I just commend her so much. She didn't have to, honestly, like, we all go through our individual struggles, and let's say if you weren't feeling well, you were going through something, a loss, you don't necessarily go back to work the next week after you take some time off and announce it to everybody candidly what your deepest struggles are. Sometimes even on that smaller scale, we all kind of internalize things, but for her to just, I guess she is, just goes to show how conscious she is of the fact that she is on such a big public platform, and that people are always watching her, and she kind of owes it to people to kind of give an explanation. I don't really think actually she owes it, I'll take that back, but she feels a sense of responsibility, I guess, to do that, and I'm happy that she did, because it definitely, like I've said before, helps a lot of other people that are maybe going through the same thing to see her be so vulnerable about it and to see that she's coming out of it on the other side. Like, I'm happy that this was kind of like a moment where she said that she was broken, but you don't have to stay broken, and that she's taken all of the necessary steps in order to get herself better. I'm really happy for her for that.
And I think that's good because honestly, it was a double. I feel like her career. Correct me if I'm wrong, just on how I received it, but I feel like her career was sort of a double-edged sword. She obviously got shot up to a bigger plateau, bigger cachet, and there's no disrespect behind what I'm trying to say, but the Bieber thing pushed her up. You know what I mean? She was quite successful and doing well, but that Bieber thing really was an explosion when they were in love, and then when they were out of love, it also added to that explosion. Every song she did, had the media talking, and it kind of was like something they played around with, and you know what I mean? But when all that comes up and all those emotions like start to fizzle out, you're left as like Mrs. Justin Bieber, meaning her whole identity was based on that man. And I just think her time away, coming back looking, as you said, stunning, saying the right things, this vulnerable moment. Maybe this is exciting to me because you know what? It's time for her not to be Miss Justin Bieber. Like, that's old news, So it was.
Yeah, I don't know if I see it like that though. To be honest with you, I don't think that she's like Mrs. Justin Bieber. I feel like she is the number one followed person on Instagram.
Yeah, wait a minute though, Eileen. Let's have a little debate though. You're gonna tell me she was rising on that occasion by her own self, or is that what you're telling me?
No, I absolutely agree with you on that point. That her relationship with Justin Bieber catapulted her career and helped her reach the next level. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, them being together on the red carpet, in the headlines, the makeups, the breakups, 100%. That helped boost her popularity.
Right.
But it's been over for like a while, and I know that there's still speculation, but I feel like she's got so much more going on besides that. Like, she has performed on many stages. Her songs, The Heart Wants What It Wants, like, was a hit, and like all her other like upbeat tempo records and things like that. Like, people follow her a lot, like, for fashion. Of course, it's always going to be like, even like, it's to say, listen, I will compare it to this, and you tell me if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Jennifer Aniston, poor woman.
Yes.
Poor woman. Jennifer Aniston,
God.
to the day she dies, I feel like will not hear the last of. Brad Pitt will somehow creep into an interview every now and then for that poor woman. Because even to this day, when the whole thing happened with Angelina, people brought up Jen Aniston, brought her into it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care.
But that does not take away everything that she has accomplished as an actress and her career and how she still has things going on. So that kind of like speaks to my point. Yes, her relationship, Selena Gomez's relationship with Justin Bieber, was like monumental and brought her to the next level. But she's done pretty well besides that, and I don't think that's the only thing that she's known for.
Right. You don't go ask Gwyneth Paltrow about Brad Pitt. Like, things need to be over. You're right. You know what? That point I will definitely agree with. So yes, old relationships. What are we going to talk about? Puff Daddy and Jennifer Lopez too? Like, we got to move on. I hear you on that, Eileen. Yeah. Last thing I wanted to say, unless you had anything you wanted to bring up, was I was all about the Ariana Grande. I'm always sort of all about the Ariana Grande. So I was really happy that she won, and I loved the performance with Nicki, and everything was right with her. I really, and she had her grandmother with her, which was kind of cool.
That was so cute. I mean, Italian families, right? I guess. Stereotypical, but they are very like tight knit usually, right, and things like that. That was very cute. Yeah. To see her family, and she has such a great relationship too with her brother Frankie.
Yes.
He's always like every time I see him, like I used to actually watch Big Brother when he was on it.
Me too.
And
yeah,
and he is just her like number one fan. That's really sweet, to see like siblings not necessarily like competing for attention or anything like that, but just like so supportive.
Yeah,
sweet.
essentially,
I definitely love seeing her family.
You're right, because essentially he could be like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of talking about my sister, but he's more like, yep, she's the coolest one on the planet. Like yeah, you're right.
He like worships the ground she walks on, and it's like the cutest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess, Eileen, I could talk with you forever about this stuff, but we do got to wrap it up. It looks like